friends, welcome back to Whiskey and Wit. I'm Whitney, and today's video is going to be the kickoff to the 2019 Christmas DIY season here on my channel. Today I've got 3 Dollar Tree DIYs for you, super simple and easy. So let's get started.
First one is more of a technique rather than a project. I ended up using this barn bag from the Dollar Tree, but you could honestly use any bag that you have, any printable. It's really easy. So you're gonna grab one of these stretch canvases from their new crafters square section, and I got this at a store that didn't have the full section, so it should be at a lot of stores. And you could use any size, honestly. You're gonna wanna open it up, and whatever size you have, I used a flathead screwdriver just to pop up the staples holding the canvas onto the frame. There's a ton of different ways you can do this, but this works for me. I put it underneath the canvas just so then that way if you scratch anything, it's just the wood, but no big deal. And then I grabbed some Minwax dark walnut stain just to stain the outside really quickly. Typically I do this outside and that's what I would recommend, but it's getting cold here in Illinois and I just made a choice. So then while that was drying, I went through and cut up my bag. I just cut off the front part of it. And then you're also going to want to make sure that if you're using a bag, you get rid of the string there and then cut off any additional pieces at the top so you have one flat thing. You could also do this with a printable, like I said. Then go through and trace the frame from the outside, just so then that way you have that overlap to be able to glue it down. If you trace on the inside, you're not going to have anything to glue it to. So then once everything is cut, I made sure that everything lined up, and then I grabbed my glue gun and did a line of glue just around the outside. You could use a lot of different kinds of glue. I just had my glue gun handy this day, and I wasn't worried about those 2 dots at the top because they were going to be covered by the wood frame. And then for some reason I got off just slightly, so I went through and trimmed those pieces off. Then I went through and trimmed off the outside of the canvas, so you're just cutting along the lines of that inner square to give yourself a little bit harder of a back. Now, you could do a lot of different things with this. You also don't have to put the canvas on. I just did it because it made the back a little more sturdy because you just have that thin bag. But like I said, that is totally optional. You could have just left it on the back. And there it is. So you could do this with a ton of things. You could do pictures. You could do, it's really simple and easy. Up next are these cute little Pedestal snow globes. And they are the worst to photograph because they are glass and they have a shine. So I started with these wishing jars. You can use regular mason jars, but I really like that these had the jute twine and the tag already on them. And then I grabbed some of these little miniatures from the Dollar Tree's little Snow Village collection. So step 1 was to get off all the stickers. I ended up having to use some Goo Gone. So whatever you have on hand to get them off, to get rid of all that stickiness you're going to want to do. Then once you're done with that, I took the lids off of each and I started by making the pedestal. So I took some E6000 and just some Dollar Tree candle holders, and I went through, added the glue, and then let those sit for a few hours. E6000 is like the best if you have the patience to let it sit. If you're more of a hot glue person and you try to touch this too fast, it's not going to work. And sometimes I am that impatient person. So I went through, lined everything up, and I thought with glass sitting on the top, I wanted to use E6000 so it stayed pretty glued together. But again, you could also use the hot glue if you're in a hurry or if you really just honestly don't want to wait. Up next is your snow, and for that I used some Epsom salt. At my Dollar Tree they had 2 different options. They had a spearmint and menthol and a eucalyptus. I chose the eucalyptus scent. I liked that better, just to give you a little festiveness with your scent. So I put some in there. You're going to want to start with less and add more depending on kind of what you put in there. And then it was time to set up my little scene. So for the first one, I did one of the packs of the big tree and the little tree. And first I laid everything out, trying to figure out where I wanted things. And then once I decided, I used the hot glue gun just to adhere everything to the kind of upside down lid there. Then that way you got everything in place. You don't have to worry about messing with it once you put the top on this. So then I also grabbed for my next one this little snowman and then a little Christmas tree to add a little bit of extra flair. I was worried that the little snowman was not going to be visible, so instead of doing 2 trees, I couldn't fit them. I took the little tree off of the base, so the little snowman was up a little bit higher, which I'm really glad I did because then you could see him over the lip. And then I took a little Christmas tree and glued that in there. I just cut out with my Cricut, but you could use a chalk pen. 2 different sayings. For one, I did "Baby, it's cold outside," and the other one I did "Let it snow." My thought process with this is that I can use them after Christmas, so throughout the whole Christmas season and then beyond. I'm always looking for more winter stuff because our house is very full for Christmas, and then it looks kind of bare after the fact when we take all the Christmas stuff down. So then your last step is to take your little scene, because it's all dried now, flip it over and just hook the top. Now, you're going to want to make sure to do it backwards like that, because if not, you're going to have Epsom salt all over your work surface. I think they're super cute. You could do this with little things you get from other stores too. It doesn't just have to be Dollar Tree little creatures. And finally, I shared this DIY in my Halloween video, but in case you missed it, it's such a great dupe and I wanted to share it again. So Dollar Tree now has red, white, black, green, all the different kinds of these candles. And so literally you can transform them into Rae Dawn dupes with just some decals, or you can make them yourself if you have a Cricut or Silhouette. So I went through and made 2 different designs. I did the green as Christmas magic, and the height of these are about 1.5 inches, and then the width depends on the saying. So this one is the whole height of the candle, but then you can really just decide, you know, how big you want them, but about 1.5 inches high. Then I went through and put Fa La La on the red, and I just really like how these turned out. They're great additions to any Rae Dawn setups, and for $1 you can't beat the price.
Thanks so much for watching. I hope this video inspired you to get DIYing for the holidays. I know some people think it's early, but you know, it is what it is. One, you gotta get stuff out on YouTube at the same time as other folks, and also it's just nice. It gives you a boost of endorphins. It makes you feel good, and also it has snowed here in Illinois, so it is what it is. Be sure to leave a comment down below. Let me know what your favorite project was, and also if you do recreate them, be sure to tag me on Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest. I'm at Whiskey and Whit on all those platforms, so be sure to follow me there. Also hit subscribe down below so you don't miss a future Whiskey and Whit DIY video. We've got a ton of Christmas content coming up, so you won't want to miss that, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!